on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Good morning and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. This is our first show for 2021 and I am so happy to have each of you to join in with us on this, our first show. And just thank you so very much for being tuned in. We greatly appreciate you. And we want you to go ahead. We're right here on Hallelujah 95.3. And we thank you so very much for being tuned in with us. Want to say hello to my mother, Dr. Irma Hunter Wesley. Thank you so very much for being tuned in. And as y'all know, she is the reason why I'm here. And also want to say, give a good hello to my husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell. Thank God so very much for him. And the senior pastor of Life Changers Church of God in Christ here in Tallahassee, Florida. And to all of our investors, want to thank God so very much for each of you being here with me this morning. We greatly appreciate you. We have so many great investors, and we're just so glad for each one of you being here. I tell you, we got a lot going on this morning. Got a lot going on this morning with the election over there in Atlanta. And then we have, I would say congratulations to Jessica Yeary, who was sworn in today as our public defender, and to Judge Tiffany Baker as well, who was sworn in as our circuit court judge of Florida up here. And so we thank you so very much. Well, I have I'm trying to, for this first show, isn't it something? I'm trying to get in to my account here so we can pull this thing up and get going. I have on my show this morning, we have my co-host. We're starting a series this month, for the month of January. We're starting a series here. And I have a co-host who's going to be sharing with me this month. And I am super excited about her being on the show. And I am, there it is. I am just super excited about her being here this morning. To, as I stated earlier, to all of the investors, I want to really thank you, and to all of those of you who are tuned in on the radio, whether you're tuned in on the radio, Facebook, or YouTube. If you would take just a few seconds on your Facebook and YouTube and give me some hearts and then share, that would be good. Or if you're on the radio, call, text, or email, whatever you can do, and tell everyone, your family members, your friends, that the Real Talk with Judy show is on right now with Dr. Judy. Okay. And I'm inviting all of you who have not subscribed to my YouTube channel to go ahead and subscribe today. A Real Talk with Judy live radio show. And we're going to get going. To all of the business investors, I must give a shout out to you, because you all are still here in January 2021, the first show. I want to say hello to Victoria and Henry and Carolyn and Angus and all of those who will be joining in. I want to say hello to all of you But to the business partners, investors, and sponsors of the Real Talk with Judy show, that's Life Changer, Superintendent Jeremy Mandrell, Dream Builders Child, Greatness Child Development Center, Carolyn Waddell, Fine Size, Waist Trainer, Shapewear, Thigh Trainer, Tanya Powell, K&D Creative Designs and Marketing Solutions, Priscilla John Lewis, Tawanda Davis Photography, Pastor T, A1 Top Notch Security, Antonio and Felicia Hall, the law offices of Craig J. Brown, PA, Tallahassee Accident and Rehab, Dr. Chuck Ways, also the Gaza Road Ministry, Attorney Judith Harkin, Tresetta Alexander Enterprise, Tresetta Alexander, Covenant Building Corporation, Harold Lyon, New Image Christian Center, Pastor David Eggerson, and Dr. Margaret Eggerson, the Greenery Flora and Tuxedo Place in Quincy, Florida, County Commissioner Rontarius Green, Celeste Morningside. Amen. So we thank you all for your support in 2021. And these investors keep the wheels going. And we are thankful for that. And I personally want to invite anybody else who would like to be a investor into the Real Talk with Judy show to do so. To go ahead and cash at me at $ Real Talk with Judy, or go to my web page, realtalkwithjudy.com, and give by way of PayPal. Well, for the month of January, the Real Talk with Judy show will be co-host with my sister. She's born in Florida, raised by an amazing, exceptional mother, Dr. Hunter Wesley, and a fabulous deceased father, Sylvester Wesley Sr. She has 6 awesome siblings, and 5 of them have awesome spouses. She graduated from the University of South Florida and received a degree from the University for Foreigners in Italy. She has lived in several countries, but settled in Scotland and lived in a teeny village with her husband and teenage daughters. She was the business director of Developing Nation until the pandemic convinced her to retire. She is a master coach and trainer. Currently, she is the author of the School for Colored Girls series and Eve's Sacrifice, coming out this year. She's also the creator of the most amazing proactive private women's group on Facebook, XC 2020. The goal is to use their combined powers to make change in our world. They're nearly 3,500 strong, and now invitation only. She doesn't believe in failure. She believes she believes everything in life, everything happened for a reason. And she is absolutely fantastic. I want to welcome Celeste. Welcome my January co-host, my sister, Celeste Morningside, the pen name for Cynthia Holden.
Hi, hello, great to be here.
Cindy, I'm so excited to have you. So excited to have you. Hello to everybody, Auntie Barbara and Tanya and Robin and Kimberly Dickerson and everybody who's joining in. So glad to have you all this morning. Today, Celeste, our special guest we have is our very own cousin. She's a licensed clinical psychologist, a consulting business psychologist based in Dallas, Texas. She have over 10 years of professional experience, including as the assistant director of the Florida State University Anxiety and Behavior Health Clinic, as an Army officer and barricade psychologist, a brigade psychologist for the 101st Airborne Division. She was awarded the Bronze Star in 2019 for her work on deployment to Afghanistan. She earned a BA in psychology from Emory University and a master's and PhD in clinical psychology from Florida State University. She conducted pre and postdoctoral training at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. Bethesda, that's okay. Bethesda, Maryland. She's a member of the American Psychological Association, the Association for Behavior and Cognitive Therapy. and the Society for Industrial and Organizational Psychology. She is licensed in Virginia and Texas and authorized to practice interjudicial telepsychology in 13 additional states. Please welcome our cousin, Dr. Rosie Hunter.
Hi there, Judy. Thank you. It's so good to
Man,
be here with both of you.
it is so good to be here with you all. We are excited about your present and about what we're about to offer to the people. And want to say thank you all so very much for your schedule. Cindy, thank you for agreeing to co-host the show with me for the entire month of January. Cheese, thank you for tuning in all the way from South Carolina. I want to say happy New Year's to everyone. This is the very first Tuesday in January 2021. Wow. So we are excited. So we're starting this year off with us looking introspectively at ourselves. We're going to start with us first. And so each one of you who are on here, the conversation for today is being the best me in 2021. Cindy, you look like you was about to say something.
I think I read somewhere, but there's a term, hindsight is 2020. Well, it really is right now, isn't it?
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Yeah, that was good. Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
Because
So looking back,
so what we're gonna do today, to everyone who's on, we're gonna put the questions. We put some questions out on Facebook and Instagram, and we're gonna put them in the chat for you, just in case you did not answer. Some have already answered the questions. I want to say thank you so very much. Some have not answered the question, but we're going to put them in the chat and we're going to dive into the question. We do have a licensed clinical psychologist. We do have experts on here. So we're going to give you some stuff, but we're not trying to if you have some issues, we're not trying to diagnose you today. Okay. This is only to get you to look at yourself. Is that right, Rosie?
Absolutely. I appreciate that disclaimer, but it's so important that we all think about how to be as healthy as we can be all the time before it gets to that point. But certainly listen out if you feel like you need some referrals or might want to take the next step and seek a professional. That's the next step after this if you need that.
Yeah, exactly. And you all, we'll put her information in there. If you want to talk more with Celeste, we'll make it all available for you so you can get going. So we want to go ahead and look at 2020. So with everything being said, the first question. What is it? Were you the best you in 2020? Were you the best you in 2020? So the first question, how much of your time, Cindy, how much of your time did you take for yourself?
well, I am a serial overdoer. So my daughter said to me, "You're working all the time," because I love my work. I love my work. I love my kids. I love my house. I love my husband. So I'm trying to give everything 100%. Most of the time, that doesn't mean leaving much for me. And so I'm gonna. I think on the questions, I'm gonna say probably for me that would be 25% or less. You would think that professional women, especially when we know we do, that's what I do. I work with people, and I know better than that. But living kind of precludes you always doing what you think is right. I don't know. What do you think about that, Rosie?
Yeah, well, I do have to give a shout out to my dad, and this is relevant, right? So you all know him, and he's a lawyer, and he doesn't give a straight answer to anything. So I'm not going to give a straight answer. It's hard to discern. I think, especially for women, it's hard to tell, is this moment for me or is this for someone else, right? We don't usually even ask ourselves, why am I doing this, right? So I think it feels like everything I'm doing is for me. I do it with a joyful heart, but maybe a lot of what I'm trying to do is please other people. So I mean, it's so hard to figure out. It's so hard to pin down. But taking time for me, just exclusively because it's fun for me, probably in the 25% range.
Okay, I see Tanya has put in the C range. I had someone else who did it on Facebook. They put the D range. I know Carolyn has sent hers in, and I can't pull it up. But if you all would, what would you give? What would you give yourself? How much time? How much of your time did you take for you? How much of your time did you take for you? Go ahead, because we have the answers to all of these. I think I would have to give myself about a D as well. Not being a lawyer or any of that, psychologist, I could give a straight answer. I would have to say about a D. Right. So we're gonna go. The next question. Rosie, you mentioned something. How do we decide whether a moment is for us or not? How do we do that?
That's a good question. I think you have to know yourself before you can know whether or not you're engaged in self-care. Right. And so I'll give you an example. One of the things we talk about in sort of business psychology all the time is the difference between extroverts and introverts. Okay. And extroverts get their energy from other people. Right. So an extrovert, when they're calling all around, talking to people or doing something like that, that moment feels good to them and is giving them energy. We could call that something they're doing for themselves. An introvert, doing all that socializing wears down their energy over time, right? So you can't tell if a moment is for you or if it's for other people or what effect it's going to have on your energy unless you know that about yourself, right? So, it's hard to figure out how much of your time you're taking for yourself, how much of your time you're spending on others, because sometimes, maybe you're baking. Maybe you're wrapping presents for others. Maybe you're doing something like that. And that actually is something that's very satisfying to you. So you should count that as for yourself.
Okay. Cindy, I know you went out for a moment, but I was asking, how would you know that that moment is for you?
Well, like I said, I'm a serial overdoer. I think it's a matter of listening to your body, listening to your time. You know what? Your mind is all, when you're sitting there, you're thinking, oh, I should be home, or I should be. If that thing is running in your mind, you know that there's something wrong there. Oh, I wish I could sit down and have a cup of coffee, or I wish. Your mind is going to keep you straight. We tend to not listen to our minds because we want to do what we want to do. So your mind generally keeps you straight. When you're thinking in the back of your head, I need to get some rest. I'm tired. I want to spend some time with my husband. And you continue to do what you're doing. You're not listening to that inner self, that inner mind. And it's telling you what's what. That's how you know. Because in the back of your mind, there's this little niggling voice that's telling you what you really want or what you should do, I would say.
So this is the answers, y'all. If you did A, 100%, give yourself 10 points. If you did 2B, which is 75%, give yourself 8 points. If you did 3, which is 50%, C, 50%, give yourself 5 points. And if you did D or less, D is 25% or less, give yourself 2 points.
Did anybody say 100%?
Yeah. Did any one of you do 100%? Wanda says she's an introvert. Most people have done C. I think Carolyn's answer was a B. All right. So let's go to the next question. Put it up. What's the next question? Next question is, how much of your time did you spend on others? That might be 100% for a lot of us.
Especially you.
Especially me, right? How much of your time did you spend on others? A, 100%, B, 75%, C, 50%, D, 25% or less. How much of your time did you spend on others? And I like these questions because it helps us to really look at ourselves to see how we can improve a little more in 2021.
Yes.
Okay, so please share your answers in the comment. Let's see. Go ahead. Rosie, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think if you're lucky, the time that you spend on others is also very satisfying time that you're spending on yourself. Right? You're in the business. Celeste is in the business of getting to spend time with other people, focused on other people, but that's very satisfying time for me. Right? So I'm going to quibble. I'm going to quibble with your rating system, right? If you spend quite a bit of time on other people, but it's very satisfying time for you, then you don't need to get caught up in that cycle of, am I sacrificing myself too much, right? It's more important to just be in the moment and get the satisfaction out of it that you can get out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. I like that because even though I spend a lot of time on people or with people, doing for people, whatever, I am 100% satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I really am. It gives me, I know you're ready, Cindy. It gives me that adrenaline to see that. But go. And I do spend about, yeah.
But you're not a martyr.
No, I'm not. Cindy?
Okay, so what I'm going to say is when you're spending time on other people, like for me, my kids, when I'm spending time on my kids, and even though it's other people, it's still for me. So I get what you're saying. When you're spending time on other people and you don't want to be there, that's the issue. That's the problem. When you're running errands for someone and you really don't want to do it, but you feel like you have to, that's when you're not really, that's not for you. So you can spend time on other people and it be for you. So that is a kind of a, it's a squishy one there.
If your motives are guilt or should or things like that, and it builds up resentment, then that's how you know that's not time spent on other people well.
Oh, did y'all get that? We'll put that in the chat. So if your motive, if you're feeling guilt or all of that, that time is not well spent on you. Okay. And so one of the things we want us to understand at the beginning of this year, we want us to focus on us. Okay, focus on you. And it is okay. Some people try to make you feel guilty when you don't focus on you, but it really is okay to take care of you. Okay. So if you're feeling guilty, that time is not well spent. Focus on you. And that's why we're doing this. We see that we had a hacker. That hacker has been blocked. And so we appreciate you all. So let's see, what was the answer, Cindy?
Okay, so the first two and there's a bit of a but for number one, how much of your time did you take for you? If you put 100%, you got 10 points. If you put 75%, 8 points, 50%, 5 points, and 25% or less, 2 points. On the question for number two, how much of your time do you spend on others? 100%, 2 points, 75%, 8 points, 50%, 5 points, 25% or less, 10 points.
And we're going to add them up at the end because there is an answer key to all of this. So we're going to add it up to the end. So far, it looks like I'm going to need help. So Rosie, I might be coming to you.
As I say, so we add up all our points and we find out how we're going to do better in 2021. That's our plan, right?
Right.
Passing this test. Let me see.
I think Rosie's going to have to go to Rosie too.
I know. Rosie talked to Rosie. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, because they said the doctors got to have a doctor, right?
Oh, yeah.
The doctors need a doctor. So, question number 3. How often do you rest? Ooh. We're not just talking about going to sleep every night. Rest is a little different. How often do you rest?
What is rest? Judy, how do we define that term? Like, I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who that is an honest question they would have in their head. What is rest? Is that moment before you pass out and try to get your 5 hours before the next day? Is that what rest is? What is rest?
Come on, somebody, put it on there. What is rest? What do you think rest is? That's a good question. Come on, audience, answer that. What do you think rest is? When you're resting, what does that mean to you? What is rest? What is rest? Anybody? What is rest? Cindy? What is
I
rest?
think rest is downtime. So, for instance, and so it's not necessarily sleeping and it's not necessarily sitting down. When I'm in Edinburgh with my girlfriend and my girls, and we're browsing the we shops, and I feel really restful. I'm moving, we're laughing, we're spending money. I really feel relaxed. So I think there's a relaxation element to that.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's
Yeah, just we're ceasing working. We're not working, not even in our mind, in our physical movement. We're not thinking about work. We're not thinking about tasks. We are relaxed in the moment.
rest
That,
is
that's
mindfulness.
yeah, that's what I would see it as. I'm not, whether I'm watching TV, whether I'm reading a book or just enjoying outside. When you take break for everyday activity, just closing your eyes, breathing in and out just for five, just resting. That's it.
I think Tanya made a good point in that comment back there.
Hmm.
Did you know that 60% of your brain is involved in that visual cortex? So just by closing your eyes, you turn off, not talking about getting actually to sleep and getting a stage 4 sleep or whatever, just closing your eyes, you turn off a huge portion of your brain and you can get some actual neurological rest by having quietness and turning that brain off. And we're sort of tricked with these things into thinking that if we're laying in bed scrolling through Facebook, we might be resting. So there are not a lot of rules, right? Sometimes shopping is rest. Sometimes being out in Scotland with the ladies is rest. But we know that staring at a bright light and looking at other people's lives is not rest. So that's my soapbox. That's my high horse. I'm getting off of it. I'll be down here if you need me. That's it.
But I have to, Rosie, I have to agree with you. That face, because you start reading, you're getting involved, then you want to make comments, and your brain is going and going. But I found out that if I stay off this thing, off of Facebook for a few hours,
A few hours.
there is a better peace up in my head.
Absolutely. So rest isn't just the opposite of work. It's something altogether holistically different.
Yes.
I think your audience gets that. People said some good things about it.
Yeah, that's some good things.
Mindfulness.
Yeah. America says you need to do that more. Taking time for yourself. Yeah, just quietness, absent of that activity or intentionally relaxation.
Mm-hmm.
And a moment, closing your eyes. Oh, wow. Closing your eyes in the moment would really, it is awesome. It is awesome. Anyone else want to comment on that before we go into some answers? All right. Let's get that. Let's get the answer. Cindy must be having a problem over there in Scott. Oh, there she is. I don't see. Let's get the answers for that question. How much do we rest?
Okay, if you rest daily, you have 10 points. If you rest weekly, you have 8 points. If you rest monthly, that's 5 points. And if you never rest, you're going to get a wee bit of a little 2 points, I'm afraid.
Ooh, wow. And if you all look at the definitions or some of the suggestions, what rest means, and we take time for us in those, when we get to question number 4, we'll handle it better because we're better rested. And rest is going to be very important in year 2021 for all of us. And there's some sicknesses and disease and different things that would leave our bodies if we rested. Okay.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. Well, go ahead, Rosie.
No, I was going to say this. I was just nodding my head. Yes, ma'am. Being well rested, having that kind of reserve of cognitive and emotional rest is going to help you fight off disease, fight off conflict, manage so much in life. And we know 2021, everything's not magic because it's a new year, right? We know that there's a lot going on today, a lot going on tomorrow.
Woo!
You're
Yes.
going to have to, you have to be ready for the battle whenever it pops up. So
Yeah. And
get the
that's
rest
one of the,
before you need it.
and I'm sure you being in the been in the military as a psychologist, you probably told some of those soldiers, you got to relax. You got to rest. Doug put rest is relieving external strains temporarily. That's good. And Angus wrote a good book. What he says, for me, one of the few positive aspects, I've
Yeah.
increased my daily exercise. Yeah, I walk 1.5 miles times 40 minutes without fail. This for me is rest. Okay. It's also meditation, reflection, life reevaluation, and a whole host of other positive things. And that's what resting does for you. It helps you reflect.
I
Cindy?
believe, you hear that term, a power nap. I think power naps are so powerful. That quick relief of stress or anxiety. Just 10 minutes, an hour, 45 minutes, whatever is a power nap to you. But that is something some people can close their eyes for 5-10 minutes and wake up and they're new people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that is so powerful, especially to what we have just said on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what Angus just said is
Ooh.
incredible too, right? That power walking, getting out and doing a walk, if something naturally produces endorphins and that's what you do for rest, that is going to be much more powerful than something that doesn't naturally produce endorphins. So the power walk is good for all human brains. And like, I'm never going to be, my shouts out to my sister, I'm never going to be on a Peloton. Okay. I'm not going to do it. Like, I survived exercise in the Army. I'm not going to be doing anybody's boot camp workouts or any of that. Like, I have no future in marathon running, none of that. But doing a nice brisk walk around the block, wonders, right? So don't set these New Year's resolutions where it's like, I'm going to run a 5K. I'm going to run the New York Marathon. You don't have to do all of that. If what you can get into your day is a 10-minute walk first thing in the morning, your brain is going to filter out so much stress just on that power walk. So thank you for reminding me, Angus. I need to take a nice hike around the block. As soon as we wrap this up, I'm going to be walking around the block.
Well, and you do that, the baby might come a little earlier.
Okay, I'm not going to walk that fast.
She doesn't look like it, y'all, but she's about to have a baby in a minute. Well, not on the show, but at the end of January, possibly. But that's good, y'all know. And I hope you're really paying attention and taking notes, because we want to be our best self in 2021. And I like what Rosie said as well. We can't or Cindy, don't set these big long goals for yourself. Live in the moment. Take pleasure in the moment. Enjoy the moment. Okay, let each moment take care of itself. To me, I think that is good. Take care of each moment. So the next question: how often do you get angry?
Oh, I love this question. I love this question.
How often do you get angry? Be honest. Hello to everybody again. Thank you so very much for being on. Ann, Hannah, Angus, Doug, Jamaica, Tanya, everybody. Thank you all so very much for being on. And if you would, anybody who's not on, go ahead and text them, email them, call them, tell them to get on. This is good conversation to help us be a better you, a better me in 2021. Yeah, my sister Michelle, thank you for being on. Yeah. And Hannah said depend on how angry. And we'll discuss that, because one of the things that was stated a few moments ago, if you take care of yourself mentally, that mental health is of utmost importance, and it will help you when you get to these angry points. All right, let's look at the answers. How often do you get angry? Y'all ready? How often do you get angry?
If you said never, you're going to get 2 points. If you said always, you're going to get 5 points. If you said daily, you're going to get 8 points. And when you say sometimes, you're going to get 10 points.
Why do you get 8 points for daily?
I know.
Because always is 5 points. It's not as good as always.
Is that a good thing?
It is
Right.
a good thing.
It's a good thing to get angry daily.
It is. I
Is
don't know.
it?
I don't know how you feel about that, Rosie, but I think anger is a good emotion. I think that it helps you to process bad feelings. And I think you'll find that a lot of people who don't get angry have high blood pressure. I may be wrong. I'm guessing.
I think you're being generous with your definition of angry. I
Yeah.
think when you say angry, you mean aware of something that is not exactly how you'd like it, right? So that sort of awareness and that ability to advocate for yourself is one thing. But anger, as in like true anger, can't focus on anything else, that sort of myopia anger, this is my last nerve just got shot, this is it. I think that anger tends to represent feeling not empowered, feeling unwilling to explore the more complicated emotions. It's because everything gets lumped into anger, right? Sadness gets lumped into anger. Any kind of inconvenience becomes anger. So yeah, I think you're right. You should be aware of things that aren't, always the way that you'd like to have them. But I'm not sure that I'm going to moderate that term. I think you're an advocate for yourself. So you probably don't spend a lot of time being frustrated, but really angry people spend a lot of time outsourcing how they feel to other people.
Yes, I agree. But maybe it's about awareness then, because a lot of people, a few people on here said, "Oh, I rarely get angry," or I get angry sometimes. And anger it's I'm using it as a be all, and you can't really do that. But it's important to be aware when you're frustrated. So I am lumping all those things into anger. And as you said, there's so much more to it. But it's important to recognize when you're angry, because we get frustrated. And wouldn't you even say that there are variant levels of anger, as you said, frustration and because it's all too much and things like that. So maybe I'm lumping it all into one bit because we live I'm guessing now, but we live in an environment that not everything's going to go your way every day. And whether it's in traffic or whether it is at your job, your husband, your kids, Mr. Trump, politics, whatever, kind of stirs your emotion. It's important that you recognize that, because unexpressed anger is not good. I think it turns into medical conditions and frustration. And then when you hit out, things like that, that's what I'm meaning here with anger thing.
Yeah, I think so it is true. Well, yeah, hostility is associated with heart problems more than other
anger.
things,
Yeah.
right? Sort of. But sometimes people who are hostile are just too in touch. They're just really in touch with their anger. They're not actually using that sort of awareness to advocate for themselves. So if on a daily basis you're aware and you advocate for yourself, I'd say that's great. On a daily basis, you're aware and you make your inner frustration all that's happening in the world and everybody else's problem. There's an anger that we have an issue with, right? So yeah, I think you're right that awareness and that advocating is helpful.
So
would you say?
Sorry. Hi. Go ahead, Cindy. I was just about to say we're getting some good comments on in the chat from the audience. They're making
I think
some
what's really good though in this bit about anger is, how do you deal with that? Because if you don't, that's when it kind of dovetails, or when it kind of gets together and becomes something else. It becomes something uncontrollable. It becomes a health issue. Because that's why I said, getting angry every day. And maybe what I should have said was dealing with your anger every day.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way it should have been phrased.
Yeah. I was just looking at some of the comments on the chat, which is very good. They're making some anger is a good emotion. Tanya said not often, but atop of the Trump decision, then because I can't control what daily is it to. It make you say things to people that you sometimes did not mean to say. And I think that's because we're not in control. We're not really dealing with it. I was looking it up right here. So anger is not just aggressive reaction. It often provides us with information that allows us to better engage with the world around us as well as ourselves. So say if we see anger as something that makes us more informed, we can adapt our response accordingly to better our position. To this end, they gave some reason that anger is designed to promote survival.
Yes. Anger, it's not the reaction itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it's
But it feels
promoted.
good.
Huh?
I remember one time I got mad at my sister, and I decided to myself, I was a young kid, I was a teen, and I said, you know what? No matter what she does, I'm not going to get angry. I'm just going to accept it, and I'm not going to get angry. Well, by the end of the day, I was a ticking time bomb. I was ready to take her life. I was ready to just do something horrible to her, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to do something horrible to her because it's going to make me feel good.
Which sister?
Probably me. Rosie said, which sister? I said, probably me.
No, it's Tanya.
Tanya. I was about to say that too. Either Tanya or me. One of the two.
It is
When I did, I felt so much better. When I finally did something awful to her, I felt good about myself. I felt much better.
okay, we'll talk offline. I think it is a fine art to get mad at the right person at the right time at the right degree, right? So if your anger is going to be an effective tool for you, it has to be calibrated to the situation when it will actually affect it, right? Did you actually get that sister to leave you alone in the long run?
Okay.
That's, right. So we have to, if you make a mental note, okay, that bothers me. Like, for example, I'm running around here about 9 months pregnant. If I see a dirty dish in the sink, I think, who is this man and what does he think is happening in this house? And then I make a mental note, okay, wait, the dishwasher's running. Maybe he couldn't put it in there, and I decide this isn't going to be my Alamo today, right? And you have to go on with it, but it can't be something you add to your list so that you can blow up and then this is just on your list later, right? Because it's going to be completely ineffective to be angry about that in that moment, in that time with that person. It's just going to be confusing to him, right? We know how they are. He's going to just be confused, right? So it's important, I think, when you think of anger as a tool, it has to be a tool to accomplish things, not just release it, right? It has to be, the timing has to be right. The calibration has to be right. You have to think about it. So yes, thinking about it daily, is this going to be an effective expression of anger? I think is very healthy. You can have your points for that, Celeste.
Okay. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that because I do believe that unsuppressed anger is not good for you. I believe that.
But healthy choices about the use of your energy, very good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I like that. So the real talk of it is you have the anger, but you have to make sure that as you release whatever you release, as you come up with it, as you define it in the moment, that it is going to bring some type of resolution to what you're angry about. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So make sure you don't deal with it in a way that you're expressing your anger on the person that did not call you. That happens, I think.
Yeah.
Right? Am I correct? Yeah.
So let me ask this question. So would you all agree or disagree that it would be best to wait to a cooling point before you try to resolve the anger with whomever it is to bring a better resolve to the situation?
Depends on the level of the situation. Mm-hmm. Because there could be small angers. Somebody cuts in front of you in the grocery store, and there could be a big anger. Somebody steals something from you that you really, really like, and you are, not happy about that. So does it depend on the situation, the person? Would you say a lot of things depend on whether you should deal with it at that moment or not, or
definitely,
or at all?
Yep, I like the term collateral damage. What is all the extra shrapnel from your anger in that moment going to affect? And you might be right, but it might not make you happy. to express
Yeah.
at that time.
Yeah.
And this is good discussion. And I hope you all are taking notes. We're going to put some of this on the Real Talk with Judy. All of the questions are on the Real Talk with Judy page, and the answers will be put on there as well, and as well as on our website. I think this will be a good conversation piece that you can have with your friends and your circles as well, in order to help each other be a better you in 2021. Cindy, what's the answers?
Okay, so I just moved up. Why I did that, I
That's
don't
all
know.
right.
Okay, so no, I moved up the sheet up. Okay,
Okay.
so how often do you get angry? Angry, never. That's 2 points. But let's look at the broader sense, and what we're saying is getting angry and dealing with it. Right, Rosie? That we did say getting angry and dealing with it. How
Yes,
often do you
ma'am.
get? Okay, so
Okay, so
if
we'll change that.
you never get angry, that means that you're suppressing. That's why I put 2 points for never, because everybody gets angry.
That's fair.
Um,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you are in a traffic or in a grocery store, whatever, it gets angry. So 2 points for never. And then 5 points for always, because something is always getting on your nerves. That might be you. Okay. If something is always, I don't get, even if I get irritated. So that's what you were talking about, Rosie. It's not always anger. Even if I get irritated, I don't get angry every day. So always is going to be bad as well. 5 points, I think.
Okay.
And daily is like always. Every day you got to be pissed off. So that's not good either, but better than nothing. So 8 points. And then sometimes, which I think is natural, we all get irritated. That's going to get you 10 points.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So
This is good. This is good. So question number 5. Question number 5. We're gonna be moving right along. How much time do you spend working or thinking about work?
whoa.
All right, y'all workaholics on here. Put that on there. How much time do you spend working or thinking about work?
Especially now that work is in your house, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
If you're lucky, work has invaded your home,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Oh wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. And I know that we're gonna need help here because some of you don't rest at home. Some of you are your bedrooms is work, kitchen is work, your bathroom is work, talking with your family is work, dinner table, work, go to sleep, jumping up. So go ahead.
I'm just saying, as a writer, I'm a full-time writer now. And even when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking about work. I'm thinking
Yeah.
about my characters and what they can do, whether I'm in the toilet or whether I'm in cooking or whether I'm thinking about what should I do this. So even that could be assigned as work, because I'm thinking about what I can do with these characters, how I should change them, what should be happening. So there is no downtime for me.
Yeah, how about people with the watches that bring your text messages and your emails to you? Judy, I know you have this watch. You always have some kind of high tech something, right? See, that's like if you have an indoor-outdoor cat and they drag in some kind of dead animal and you act like it's a gift. That's not a gift. That's just some way of having your work on your wrist, chirping around, bringing your attention to work all the time. That's not a gift. That is a dead animal dragged in by your cat.
Oh wow, Rosie. Oh wow.
I believe in technology, right? But you got to manage your relationship with it, right? When we got laptops, it's, oh, this is so great. I talk like I'm really old. I'm just a little bit old. When you get a laptop, people say, oh, this is so great. I can just carry it around with me everywhere. And what that does is that makes your brain not know the difference between where you rest and focus on your family and where you work. It just follows you around. If you hop in your bed with your laptop twice, just a couple times a week, your brain loses focus. Look, I feel bad for writers because writers just feel guilty all the time. But it loses the ability to discern. It's like, oh, wait, do we work here? Do we worry here? Do we surf the internet? Do we compare ourselves to celebrities? What do we do here? And then you want it to all of a sudden know to sleep there. It doesn't know that. Soapbox.
Oh no, that is good. That's a good point. So we train our mind when we're bringing all these gadgets or we're thinking all the time. We're training our mind to make every place we are a workplace.
Correct.
I never thought about it.
Right. So even if you don't have a big old house, you can locate your work in a corner somewhere. right? And you can sort of train yourself to make sure you do your deep work, your focused work, that the people at your job have access to you when you're in that corner. Even if you work in you have to share a living room with kids working from home, with a spouse that's working from home, and you're all there together, you can still try to locate your work physically somewhere instead of locating it here and here. Then it'll just go around with you.
Oh, wow. That's real talk. So one of the things for 2021, locate an area for your work. Don't make every part of you work.
That's a good idea.
Don't make it a workplace. Don't make it a workplace. Not every part of you. Wow. What's the answer?
Right. And I have my phone. I sleep with my phone by my head as well. So.
You really?
Yeah.
Oh. 5G.
And I had to at a certain time I have to put my phone on mute because it just keep going, and I don't have it in my bed anymore. I moved it because I wasn't getting any sleep. People are up at our sister Carolyn's a night owl. So around about 12, 1 o'clock, she's having thoughts. and boy, it's just pouring down, but she's not remembering. I get up at 6. And so she called with these thoughts and ideas about the daycare, and we can do this. And I'm like, yeah, right. And then she'll do it, and she'll say, well, you told me, I didn't even hear you.
Yeah. But she trusts you to manage your own boundaries, right? She's trusting you that it's not good, that you're going to manage your own relationship to her ideas, and she's going to be able to fire them off, and they're just going to be there like a mailbox for you to go and check. Right? That's how you want to train your family and your friends to be.
Okay. I like that. Y'all write that down real good. I'm gonna go back and write that one. I like that. We got to train them. Cindy, what's the answers?
Well, before we go on, I'll call you like 6 o'clock in the morning. You act like you're annoyed. I don't know. I don't understand.
6 a.m. is my time. I have to give me some early morning time, because once I answer the phone, once you answer, and see, Cindy, you're 5 hours. Like it's 12:30 here. What it is, 5:30 there?
5:30, yeah.
Yeah, you're already 5:30. And see, we haven't gotten to 5:30 yet. my alarm go off at 5:30 every morning.
Oh, does it?
So is there a delay between when your alarm goes off and when you start looking at your phone? How long is that, Judy?
Okay, I get up, my alarm go off at 5:30. I am up at 5:50, so I can brush my teeth, wash my face, get my Bible and all of that, and I'm not ready to go until 8 o'clock. And I tell people to try not to call me before 8 or 8:30. I'm not gonna answer.
I love that.
Cindy?
I think that's great. Cindy, but you can also not even look at it face down. Some people put their phones face down because they're being sketchy, but it's a good idea to put your phone face down so that you are not distracted when you're trying to get that good mental focus first thing in the morning. You're with your Bible, you're with your coffee, you're with your time. You can have that phone face down.
That's right. Yeah. And I leave mine in my bedroom. But Gerald bought me a watch, and because I hadn't had one, I wouldn't wear it because I said I didn't want to have it. But I wear it now because he said you don't wear the watch I bought you. It costs a lot of money. But it really is aggravating. I got everything almost on mute.
Gotta drag that dead bird back outside, go bury it in the yard.
I have to go bury that bird back out.
I love you, Gerald.
All right, Cindy, what's the answer?
Okay, so how much time do you spend working on thinking about work? 100% is 2 points. So A is 2. 75%, which is B, that is 5 points. 50%, which is C, is 8 points. And 33% or less is 10 points. I think, did I have
Did you have what, Cindy?
I'm sorry, hold on. I have that backwards. You guys, please forgive me. How much time do you spend working, thinking? How much time do you spend working or thinking about work? Yes, okay, so I'm going to redo that. 33% or less.
10 points.
10 points.
10.
And then 50. Oh, did I get it right? Sorry. 50,
you did it right.
Never mind. Never mind. I got it right. I got it right.
Okay, number 6. Do you participate?
My
Number
phone.
6. Number 6, because we got about 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Number 6. Do you participate in extracurricular or social activities? Do you participate not not thinking in your mind, not the participation in your mind? Do you actually participate? All right.
I want to tell you, I had a laugh. I think I told my sisters and I said, one time I was thinking about dancing in my mind and I got tired. I don't. But actually, I'm a part of a few boards, Women's Aid and things like that. But as far as social groups and dancing and stuff, and you know what? 2020 was hard for all of us as far as social groups. I don't know what's going. I do know what's going on in America, and that's but we have been in lockdown pretty much since March of last year, so almost the entire 2020. So I think that was curtailed for just about everyone. But they created Zoom. Well, Zoom became really popular, and I know someone says, I did a Zoom thing, and the lady said, "Don't worry about it. Just do what you can." So I did. So I laid down. That's what I could do. Anyway, but I think that probably was curtailed for a lot of people. So I won't. For me, it would probably go. I would probably be like, probably in the past. I would probably go 5 points for me in the past. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Get the answer, Cindy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Do you participate in extracurricular activity or social activities? Get answers.
Yeah. Okay. So 1, yes, would be 10 points. No would be 2 points. Partly would be 8 points, and I'm still doing it would be 5 points.
In the past.
Beautiful cat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's the cat.
Yeah.
Okay, did you make a plan last year that you followed through with? Did you make a plan last year that you followed through with? Did you make a plan last year that you followed through with? And I know I'm kind of rushing now, but did you make a plan last year that you followed through with? And I want to thank all of you for participating, all of you for being on. I greatly appreciate it. I know Jamaica Jones had to go back to work, but I thank you for being on. If y'all just hold on, we got about 10 minutes and we're gonna close this out. Yes.
Did you make a plan last year that you followed through? 10 points, yes. 2 points, no. 8 points partly, and 4 points still going on.
Ooh, we got a lot of yes on here.
Cool. You know, I say, this is me. I say that planning is the enemy of depression. When I'm feeling down or I'm planning a holiday. I don't care if I can go or not. I'm going to plan. I'll plan a holiday or I'll plan to do this or open this. I always plan. It makes me feel better.
I like this question because it gives you a chance to reflect on what you did accomplish. We're so busy thinking about what we haven't gotten to that we don't realize we followed through on something.
Yeah, I like that. You know, yeah. Think about you got to celebrate the small victories. Got to celebrate the small victories, and and hopefully in 2021 you will find yourself doing that more often. Celebrate your small victories. It helps you from getting depressed and gloomed and feeling not worthy. Celebrate your small victories. Celebrate and give yourself small goals.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, give yourself small goals. So we have a lot of yes on here. Huh? So
even if it's earlier.
Yeah. Mer, Gina, Charlie, Bridget. We got a lot of yes on here. This is good. Give the answer, Cindy. Did we do the answer?
I thought I did the answers. Did I not?
Did you?
I thought I did.
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, my bad.
Okay.
Number 8. How many people take care of you when you are down or sick? How many people take care of you? And y'all, that is a really important question. That is a very important question.
It is, because we all get down.
We spend so much time taking care of others, but when we're down or we get sick or whatever, we can't find, I mean, not many people going to come around. And that's just the truth. So how many people,
I put, I have here, your husband, your wife, your partner, 8 points. Your children, your friends, 5 points. Your employees or your employer, 2 points. And do you just take care of yourself? That's 10 points. Because it's so important to be able to take care of yourself. You want other people to take care of you. That's great. But it's important that you're able to take care of you.
come in, Rosie.
I think that's right. I think it's important to have good, strong networks of people you can rely on. When you need to ask for help, you need to ask for help. But it's also important to not feel helpless because you recognize what part of a problem you can control, right? Wow. And whenever you'll go less crazy, this is a technical term, you'll go less crazy if you focus on the part of a problem that you can control. Always.
Wow, that's good. Y'all, we're getting some very valuable answers here. Terrence, thank you. That's our cousin Terrence, Cheese, and everybody. Thank y'all so very much. I don't know about y'all. It feels good when you have family support, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It does. We created something here at Developing Nation called Control the Fall. When you know you're in a situation, you know that you're going to fall. Okay. Do you remember Lethal Weapon when in the beginning the guy was trying to commit suicide and he grabbed him and jumped because he said, I know he's going to jump. I just wanted to make, if we jump together, I'd save his life, sort of situation. When you are in a negative situation and you know you're going to fall, do your best to control it. You know you're going to fall. There's going to be some fallout, but try your best to control the fall. You know, sometimes you can't, but sometimes you can. Control it. Okay, so
I love that. Did you get the answers?
I have not.
Oh, go ahead.
If it's your husband, wife, or partner, 8 points. If it's your children and friends, 5 points. If it's your employer, or your employee, 2 points. So I may have. I kind of remember seeing it. Take care of yourself, 10 points. So I'm crazy.
No, you didn't. This is good, and I know you all are enjoying it. So make sure you share it. Share this. I think it's going to be great. You have friends that we don't have. All of us got different friends, but go ahead and share it. This is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for your feedback. Number 9, when was the last time you did something just for yourself? How important is that, Rosie and Cindy? How important is that?
Well, I think it's important. I think, but I think it's so important to know when you're doing something that is just focused on your satisfaction, right? And, we have stereotypes of self-care. We think it's getting your nails done or, watching Housewives and having a glass of wine. We have stereotypes of self-care. But what you really do for you is thinking about your financial security, right? And your sort of long-term financial security. What you really do for you is that Angus walk around the block. Right? That's something that you really do for your immediate and long-term care. So when you're thinking about something that you just do for you, don't just think about your indulgences. Think about the things that are about your personal rest and your personal security and your personal responsibility to yourself.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. That's what this series is all about. Stand up and be counted. This series is about more than just getting your nails done, getting your hair done, making sure you got new clothes. It's really about taking care of you. Taking care of you. Putting your mask on first so you can help others. Cindy, what's the answers?
If you don't remember, that's 2 points. If it was last month, that was 5 points. If it was last week, that was 8 points. If you always do a little something for you, if you always take time for you, that's 10 points.
You're taking time for your health, your finances, and all of that. That's 10 points. Number 10, what do you value the most about you? What do you value the most about you? What do you value the most about you? And if you don't value you, nobody else will. Cindy and Rosie, talk about it right quickly.
I love that the question is asked. You just have to, that's the kind of question you should be asking. It is helpful to ask the question, right? Like, what did I accomplish? A helpful question to ask, no matter what the answer is. What do you value about yourself? Gratitude, giving that gratitude up for and acknowledging what you have and what you give and who you are. Such an important conversation to have in your own head.
Wow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you the answer to this. If you're hesitating, give yourself 5 points. If you wrote that answer right away, go ahead and give yourself a 10. If you're still thinking about it, that's 2. Because you have to value you.
You have to.
There's no
and there's nothing wrong. And there's nothing wrong with it either. Celeste and Rosie. Sometimes people think that it is wrong to have a value of yourself or feel confident about you, or they want. Sometimes some people want you to feel guilty about that. But how important is it? As we bring this to a close, and Cindy, we're going to have you to tally up, give the tally answer to all of this. But how I really want you all to talk about how important it is, right quickly, for people to really value themselves. Go ahead.
So if you have 100 to 81, you know that without you, there would be no them. You have your act together, and while you want people to help you, you don't need them to help you. You know how to take care of you without being selfish. You are a goal setter and a go-getter. It's time that you teach others the secrets to your success.
Wow, that's 100 to 81, y'all.
100
That's
to
100 to 81. Go ahead, Cindy. 80 to
51. You strike an uneasy balance with taking care of yourself, taking care of others, and taking care of business. You may shift from extremes, and a lot of the times you get it right, but a lot of the times you get it wrong. And this could leave you mentally, physically, and spiritually drained. You may also find that you attract emotional vampires. It's time to stop and reevaluate your values and goals. Remember that it is your world, and your right position is queen or king. Goodness flows from the top.
Wow. Awesome.
50 to 21, you are a people pleaser. And while the people around you may seem happy, it could be you're emotionally drowning in your own enabling pool. If others' happiness is tied to your self-esteem, it may be time to cut the emotional and biblical cord. Take small self-care baby steps to putting you first. Join a group or a club or a church. You can't make anyone happy, and they can't make you happy. Live a little and make yourself happy.
Wow.
If you got below 21, it may be time to seek self-care help. It could be that you are last in your own life. This generally comes from years of putting other people first. It could be you are mistaking caring for people more than yourself as love. The most important thing is to understand that if you don't love yourself, it is difficult, maybe impossible to take care of yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you love others? It's time to do some self-work.
Wow. This has been absolutely fantastic. Absolutely a great show. Rosie, give us some closing remarks. And then Cindy, you will give us some closing remarks. And then we're going to tell y'all about next week's show. We're excited about it. We got the questions all ready for you for next week. We're going to place them on the website. We're going to place them on Facebook. The Real Talk with Judy page wants you to answer those questions for next week. But go ahead, Rosie, give us some closing remarks for today. And then Cindy, give us some closing remarks. And then we will end this great show for today.
My main closing remark is just good for you for having the courage to have this conversation with yourself, right? To at least, it's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of everyday life. You're just reacting. You're not being intentional about who you want to be. And so just starting that conversation, knowledge is half the battle, as they say. Just starting that conversation with yourself is worthy of a celebration. So that's what I would say.
Wow, that's awesome. Cindy.
You know what? I'm glad that Rosie mentioned reactive. Was it proactive? Anyway, I always tell my daughters, always don't be reactive. We have been reactive, many of us in 1920, because of this COVID, because of this pandemic. We have been reactive. We've been reacting to the situation, reacting to our financial issues, reacting to our family. We've been stuck here together on the verge of doing something horrible to them. So it is important if you can, in 2021, make up your mind that you're going to be proactive. You're going to do something for you. You're going to do something for others. You're going to be better. I love that word. Be better in 2021. Don't be reactive, be proactive in your own life.
Man,
Thank
this is thank you so much. Celeste, Morningside, Dr. Rosie Hunter. It has been a pleasure, an honor having you on this show. You all made this show, the first show of 2021, absolutely remarkable. We're going to put a lot of this on, well, we're going to put this on, we're going to replay it on Facebook. It's on YouTube. We're going to play it on our station. I'm going to ask everybody to please share this on your page. I believe Rosie, dynamic professional, Cindy, Celeste, Morningside, hilarious, quirky, and fun. Dr. Judy, the consummate star. Well done. Wow. He always can bring it out right. You all have done an excellent job. It's an honor having you, Celeste Morningside, as the co-host for the entire January, the series Stand Up and Be Counted. Rosie, Dr. Rosie Hunter, is you. And look, sometimes you could look all outside the world, but if you look within your family have some great things to offer. And today I look within my family and I brought my family to the world. And I want to say thank you all. Next Tuesday, the Lord said the same. We're going to talk about a healthier me and my finances. I don't think that's the topic, but not finances, health, a healthier me in 2021. I have Dr. Joe Dreker Brown, who will be my special guest next week. And we're bringing you professionals. And Cindy and I are professionals in our own right, what we deal with, but we're also bringing in the medical professionals to help you as well. So we have the questions ready to go. They will be online today. I want to thank Priscilla, our production manager, for making this happen so good. Cindy, would you like to say anything before we end?
No, I'll see you next week. I'm looking forward to taking that health quiz because I've been in a blue funk or some sort of funk for the last year because I haven't moved. So I'm looking forward to the
Yes,
quiz.
that's going to be real good. And hopefully we could get you on a path like we did today to get us really looking introspectively at ourselves to be a better me for 2021. As we close this, remember, your life starts with you. You are the compass for the direction of your life. You determine the value and the worth of your life. Okay? You do. There's a fine line between putting others first and self-neglect. Make 2021 the you year. Make 2021 the you year. This is the year of trickle down. Remember, put your oxygen mask on first before you save others. If you don't, you both may just hit the ground. All right. This has been the Real Talk with Judy live radio show on Heaven, Hallelujah, 95.3, Facebook, YouTube. And I see you in the future. And guess what? You're a better you than you are right now. That's Real Talk.